So there are several degrees or level of processed food. The first level is the lowest and also the best, I think, in my opinion, is called unprocessed or minimally processed foods. So by definition, unprocessed or minimally processed foods are those that have undergone little to no processing at all, and therefore it retains their natural state. As you can see here from the pictures on the left are some examples. Yeah, this food may have been subject to cleaning, trimming, cutting, but not as there is no significant alteration of their original forms. As you can see here from the left is includes fresh fruits and vegetables that has been washed but not cooked or altered. Cooking itself is considered the simple processing, as you can see the next level, yeah, basic processing. And the other example will be whole grains, okay, rice. Although we cannot eat rice raw, we must have to be processed, okay, at least boiled and cooked, okay. Quinoa and wheat berries that have been cleaned but not refined. Fresh meats, poultry and fish. Yeah, some people, especially in Japan, maybe sushi, they can eat this fish raw. Okay, and of course, yeah, it must have been clean and portioned, but not seasoned or maybe seasoned with a little bit of salt or cooked. What are the characteristics of minimally processed foods or unprocessed foods? Well, they maintain natural states. Okay, there is no or there is only a minimal changes. Okay, from the natural states of the foods, so the food will still retain its original taste, its original texture, and of course its nutritional content. There is no additive, there is no preservatives or artificial ingredients, although I don't mind a little bit of salt personally, in my opinions. So this food may have been subject to physical processes such as peeling, yeah, that's peeling with an L, yeah, chopping, blanching, and etc. to prepare them for consumption, so human consumption. The benefits, well, it maintains high nutritional value, okay, due to minimal loss, okay, of vitamins and mineral during the handling. There is also low or none, addition of salt or sugars or unhealthy fats. The foods, of course, retain its natural flavor and quality, and therefore providing a fresher taste and high quality. However, there are some disadvantages or challenges is that these unprocessed or minimally processed foods tend to have a limited shelf life compared to those that have been processed, okay, due to the lack of preservation techniques in the unprocessed or minimally processed foods. It requires careful handling and storage, okay, in order to prevent spoilage and maintain quality. So in this storage, okay, handling, we try to minimize the foods being in contact with water, which otherwise it with high water activity, that the bacterial microbial activity such as yeast, fungus can grow and spoil the food itself. So it may require more preparation times. Yeah, one of the disadvantages require extra preparation time and efforts before consumption, such as washing, peeling, and cooking. The limitation includes availability. Yeah, it has a limited availability, okay, especially for seasonal fruits and vegetables. It also have restricted convenience for busy consumers who may prefer ready-to-eat foods or ready-to-serve foods. So they have to eat or they have to do some preparation in order to eat this freshly or minimally processed foods. Other disadvantages or limitations include higher costs relatively, okay, due to a short, limited supply, and also due to storage requirements. The next level of processed food is basic processing, basic processed food. Okay. By definition, basic processed food have undergone simple processing techniques to alter their form. Okay, this is the keyword there, alter their forms. Okay, or enhance their preservation while retaining many of the natural characteristics. Okay. So these food may include common processing methods such as cooking, freezing, drying, and canning. Okay, so the example as you can see on the left here, okay, includes cooked and frozen vegetables such as peas and carrots, pasteurized milk and dairy products such as cheese and yogurts, as well as canned food such as canned tomato, canned beans, and corn. Dried fruits and nuts also part of the basic processed food. Okay, so things food like raisins, apricots, and almonds. Okay, that is usually dried. Okay, before reaching on the shelf. Okay, the customer is considered example of basic processed food. So basic processed food include some processing, basic processing such as cooking, boiling, steaming, baking, and roasting. Okay, in order to prepare food for consumption or further processing. Other processing include freezing, okay, basically to preserve the food by slowing down the growth of microbes such as bacteria, yeast, fungi, and slow down the enzyme activity. Okay. So it's commonly used for vegetables, fruits, meats, and prepared meals. Other techniques include drying, okay, basically remove the moisture from the foods in order to inhibit microbial growth and restrict enzymatic activity. So this food often include fruits, vegetables, some herbs and spice. Okay. Other techniques include canning. Yeah. So in the canning usually also involves some heat treatments. Okay. Try to kill most of, if not all of the bacteria or microbes. Okay. So that the food can have an extended shelf life. We talk more about the canning later on. So typically includes fruits, vegetables, some type of soups, as well as sauce. What are some advantages of basic processed foods? Well, it enhances preservation and shelf life of the food compared to minimally processed food or unprocessed food. And it offers greater convenience and accessibility as the food are often ready to eat or very easy relatively to prepare. Reduced food waste through preservation and extended storage. So in other words, by doing some processing, simple or basic processing, we can reduce food being wasted to the environment because we can preserve the foods, okay, using various techniques that just mentioned, and extend the storage and shelf life of the foods. Okay, reduce the food waste. The disadvantages includes possibility of loss of some nutrients due to processing and handling. This includes loss of vitamins and mineral. The processing may contain addition of sugars and salts, and in some cases preservative. Okay, and therefore it affects the our health. Okay, and also the taste. It is also possible the process of basic processed food have changes in flavor, changes in texture, as well as the appearance compared to freshly prepared food. The next level is moderately processed foods, as you can see here. By definition, moderately processed food have undergone intermediate level of processing involving techniques that are beyond the basic method, but not reaching the complexity of highly or ultra processed food. So this food, as you can see on the left, okay, may include addition of preservations, flavoring and flavor enhancers, and some coloring, and some level of refinement. So the example on the left is fermented foods such as yogurt, kefir, kimchi, and sauerkrauts, some pasteurized fruit juice and smoothies, and cured meat such as ham, bacon, and salami, as well as processed or fortified whole grains such as flour and pasta. These moderately processed food include some processing such as fermentation. Okay, by definition, it basically involves biological process, breaking down the food substance using microorganisms like yeast and bacteria. And as a result of these breakdown processes, biological processes, it enhances the flavor and nutritional content, and may also produce beneficial bacteria or probiotics that we call it. The other common techniques of moderately processed foods is pasteurization. Okay, so this includes heat treatments up to 62 to 66 degrees C for 30 minutes, or we can go higher to 71 degrees C for 15 minutes if you want. Okay, so this heat treatment aim to kill the harmful pathogens while retaining most of the nutrients as well as flavor in milk, in juice, and other liquids. Other technique includes curing and smoking, which basically preserving and flavoring the foods, okay, typically meats, okay, and fish, through the use of salts, okay, that's what it's curing, and smoke. Okay. Other curing agents to provide distinct flavors and extend shelf life. Fortification and enrichment is also an example of moderately processing techniques for foods. These include addition of essential vitamins, minerals in order to improve its nutritional contents. Okay. These usually apply to grains, cereals. Okay, we've seen a lot of fortified cereals as well as fortified beverages. What are the advantages of moderately processed food? Well, the main one is convenience. Moderately processed foods offer a balance between convenience and naturalness, as you can see on the left here. Okay, we can relatively see some degree of freshness or naturalness. Okay, they often require less preparation time to eat. Okay, less time, less preparation, and less effort. Okay, then compared to minimally processed foods. Therefore, making this moderately processed food more practical choice for selected number of consumers. In terms of nutritional quality, some nutrients may be lost during processing, but because of the fortification and other technique, we can maintain or enhance the nutritional value. Moderately processed food also can provide some health benefits such as probiotics, beneficial bacteria in the fermented foods. The challenges or disadvantages, of course, we seen some concerns regarding the use of preservative and additive that can affect one's health, dietary health, which is another important aspect we will discuss a little bit later. Therefore, it needs a mindful consumption, okay, to maintain the healthy diets and avoid over-reliance, over-dependence to processed or moderately processed foods. The last one, the highly processed or ultra-processed foods, as you can see here on the pictures from the left. By definition, highly processed or ultra-processed foods are those that have undergone extensive processing, containing multiple steps and multiple added ingredients such as preservatives, artificial flavoring, sweeteners, colorings, etc. So these foods often involve complex industrial processes and are designed for convenience and extended shelf life. So the example on the left here, we can see some ready-to-eat meals such as frozen dinners and microwavable meals. Okay, all type of snacks, foods such as chips, cookies, and candies, sweetened and carbonated drinks, okay, beverages, as well as some processed meats such as hot dogs, sausages, and deli meats. What are the characteristics of highly processed foods or ultra processed foods? Well, it usually contains a combination of refined ingredients. That is why if you pick one of these canned food from the supermarkets and then look at the back of the label, the packaging, okay, you can see a list of ingredients, okay, not only the main ingredient but also a list of additives that has been added, yeah, a list of artificial flavoring, coloring, as well as sweeteners and preservatives added into this canned food packaging. So it typically have a high energy density, okay, also have an elevated level of sugars, salts, and unhealthy fats, trans fats usually. It is designed for convenience mainly, and it also designed for quick preparation, okay, and immediate consumption. Okay. So common type is pre-packed snacks, such as chips, crackers, and snack bars. Packaged baked goods, such as cake, cookies, and pastries. Instant noodles, okay, is considered highly processed or ultra processed foods. Okay. Canned soups, quick cooked meals, as well as ready to drink beverages such as sugary drinks and energy drinks. There are, of course, some health concerns from these highly processed or ultra processed foods. Regular consumption of highly processed food is often associated with an increased risk of various chronic diseases such as obesity, diabetes, and cardiovascular diseases, okay, including, I believe, some of the one that is associated with reproductive organs dysfunctional. So it is, even though I'm teaching this subject, it does not mean I'm encouraging you guys to eat highly processed foods. I'm just letting you know, okay, some of the benefits and disadvantages of certain types of foods, yeah, that have undergone minimally processed food, okay, up to the highly processed or ultra processed foods. As you can see here, for the highly or ultra processed food, there are some health risk associated with the consumption of these foods, okay, in particular various chronic disease such as obesity, diabetes, and cardiovascular diseases. These highly processed, ultra processed foods also lack of essential nutrients and fiber, while also high in calories. Okay, it can lead to obesity and overweight. These highly or ultra processed foods also have the potential for addictive like eating behavior. Okay, addictive like eating behavior due to its high level of sugars. Okay, if you eat this food, you know, some of this food, you trying to send a signal to our brain, even though you already eat just now, but the brain said we're still hungry. Okay, we have not eaten, and basically it disappear quickly. It makes you want to eat more and more of this highly processed food, snacks, etc. Not only sugar but also salts and artificial flavoring. What are the implications for nutrition? Well, these ultra processed foods can contribute to poor dietary quality and may displace healthier whole food choice, okay, as our diet. They may contain low quality ingredients and additives. Yeah? So in summary, the implication for nutrition is of course not good. Okay, eating healthier, wholesome foods, okay, in our diet is much more better than eating highly processed or ultra processed foods. Therefore, some consideration for consumer, okay, they should be mindful of their food intake, okay, of these highly processed foods and prioritize more on the whole or minimally processed foods. Always read the labels, okay, and choose food products with less or fewer additive or no additive at all would be better, and healthier ingredients in order to manage consumption.